What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of The Den, the show where I ramble on about random things that are on my mind. I am AccursedTigress, and let's jump right in. So today, I really want to talk about something that I've done a lot of research on. I've done some extensive research into this one particular game from back in the years of the Nintendo 64, and later became a very divisive Star Fox title. I'm talking about Dinosaur Planet, originally developed by Rare. And we know almost next to nothing. I say almost because not we. The Dinosaur Planet community, this entire community dedicated to trying to preserve this game's legacy, has turned up some amazing results. For starters, they've been trying to reproduce Dinosaur Planet in various forms of media. We have a fan-made movie in the works. We have, I think, a fan-made series in the works. And some have even started to think about recreating the game from the ground up. Now, I should probably do a better job of explaining what Dinosaur Planet is. Dinosaur Planet is this N64 game that used the Diddy Kong racing engine, and surprisingly, it's not a racing game, I know. It's more like an Ocarina of Time clone, in the aspect of the adventuring and the targeting system and the combat. It's basically Zelda, but with a kind of a sci-fi slash fantasy skin. So, I did extensive research on this game years ago, and for some reason I can't get the information off the top of my head. But, anyway, the fans have toyed with the thought of recreating an actual game for it. And the one thing that's stopping them is lack of resources, lack of information, because when Dinosaur Planet became Star Fox Adventures, it was fairly early on in development. There was scrap data and all that, most of which the community came across by happenstance. But very recently, a certain individual got their hands on a kiosk disc for Star Fox Adventures. And what that is basically it's a demo disc. It's a prototype demo disc. And apparently that disc housed a ton of data from Dinosaur Planet. Tons of data. Character models, character dialogue transcripts, some of the music. We have it. We have it all right there, laid out in front of us. We have the transcripts. We have the character models. We have some of the environments. We have some of the maps. We have some of the art. We have it. They have it. We just need somebody. We need, whether it be an individual or a group of people, to rise to the occasion. Granted, if they were to start a project like that, if they were to start a project like recreating an unreleased game that is pretty much now Nintendo property from the ground up, you know what Nintendo's going to do. They're going to start dropping cease and desist orders like frickin' candy, okay? They've handed out cease and desist orders for AM2R, Pokemon Uranium. This is why we don't take you seriously, Nintendo. Because you don't recognize non-profit fan projects. You can't tell a fan a non-profit fan project from a bootleg. And trust me, there are a lot of Mario bootlegs, both on the physical market and the digital market and the mobile market. So, what the heck, Nintendo? Anyway, so given the danger of being handed a DMCA, the risks might outweigh the benefits, but in my eyes, this game was unreleased. It was unreleased. Granted, the most we have are very low quality clips of what the game was going to look like. And even now, Star Fox Adventures has bits and pieces of Dinosaur Planet in it. So, of course, the DMCA thing is going to be a massive problem. And it kind of ticks me off a little bit. Because non-profit fan projects shouldn't be punished. I personally believe that they shouldn't be punished. As long as they're, non-profit, and as long as they're doing it for, hobby's sake, or for the sake of, in this case, video game history and restoration, then they should not be punished. But of course, Nintendo's always been ass backwards about it. They've always been ass backwards about it. And I don't know why. But whenever there's a fan-made project, Nintendo's just, they've been like, nope, you're not doing this. It's our property, therefore you can't touch. Even though things like AM2R and Pokemon Uranium were just for funsies, and they weren't for profit, and these people were doing all the work themselves. Pokemon Uranium took almost 10 years to finally get off the ground. And Nintendo just decided to slap a DMCA on it. But we're not going to dwell on that. Back to Dinosaur Planet. I want to see this game in a complete playable state. But that's a bit of a tall order. That is definitely a tall order. Especially given that we don't even have a ROM dump to go off of. We don't have that ROM dump. The most we have are trailers and an hour or nearly an hour long demonstration of gameplay. How anybody got their hands on that is beyond me, but I'm thrilled about that because we got to see a bunch of cool stuff. And in all honesty, I want to see more. I want to see more. But again, this game is 20 years old. It's not gonna come out anytime soon. It's like how Star Fox 2 used to be. It's there. We know it's there. We know it exists. But we're just not gonna get it. Now, probably it's going to be. It's not going to be released like Star Fox 2 was, because Star Fox Adventures is already out. Dinosaur Planet wasn't going to be anything. But my honest opinion, had Rare said no to Nintendo's suggestion, we might have had Dinosaur Planet. Or Nintendo could have sold them to Microsoft post-haste, and we wouldn't have gotten Star Fox Adventures, which, in my honest opinion, is kind of a good thing, because that game has become a bit of a sore spot for me lately. But anyway. God. Like I said earlier, we have a vast, they have a vast majority of the programming assets. They have dialogue, they have well, not recorded dialogue. They have audio transcripts. They have some recorded dialogue. They have the models for the Swap Stones, Princess Kite, and I think they even have some old backgrounds, and like I said, they have like this. They have some of the areas mapped out. They even have like at least one or two of the areas textured. So there's that. Like I said, we have some of the assets, and if someone were to rise to the occasion, we might actually have something here. Of course, that's just wishful thinking on my part. So, what do you guys think? Do you think we should get a fan-made version of Dinosaur Planet that is complete and playable? Do you think it's at all possible we could have one? Or do you think Nintendo's going to slap a DMCA on that project? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching this episode of The Den. This has been AccursedTigress, and I'm out!